My name is Ian Walsh, Masters of the Market today with Nathan Krauthamer. My friend, thank you for coming on and entertaining everyone.
Thanks
How
for
is it
having
going?
me.
Cool. So you guys watched the last two videos with Nathan, and as you know, Nathan is he's built he self manages, quote unquote self manages. He has a good team around him now, but he doesn't have a third party management company, and he's got 150 units leased up. He's got a 52 unit building at 2930 Jasper.
Yeah,
Perfect. Which you can go and see grand opening on January
26.
26th. But you have to RSVP to him. We'll give you his information at the end that you can RSVP because he doesn't want too many people showing up or get too few booze, dude. You can't be the guy that gets a six pack for 400 people. It doesn't work, right?
Yeah, I don't mind a lot of people coming. It's going to be a lot of people. It's just we like to have an estimated count, but it's probably going to be maybe about 200 people is my wild guess.
Yeah, I bet it'll be cool. I understand the style of the building. Get that rustic like warehouse, like big beams, big windows. You get some hip people in there, artists and real estate companies. It's a cool scene. I know exactly the feel that you guys are putting off there. It's a good location, so it's a good place to go. I'll probably stop by and see if we have anybody that watched the episode at the.
Nice.
So, but I want to talk about today. This really is designed. The reason I actually started Masters of the Market or started doing it, whatever, I started reaching out to people, and from a lending perspective, the important thing to me was always to try to figure out where the market's going. And as an underwriter, I always think the world's going to end. Like that's just what it is. So, but I like to know when I talk to guys like you. I talk to guys, that are all big players in their space. They do a lot of volume. They do a lot of transactions. So they see the market move differently than your average person doing one or two or three deals a year. And you get more of a feel for like what's coming down the pipe. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Is things cooling off? I've got some inside information now about certain things on like different areas of the market that are showing some cooling, not a crash, just cooling off. So I like your perspective of like, hey, I own all these properties. I'm in these different areas. I also know you're not. It's not just the rentals that you own, but you have a good. I've seen the deals. You put some deals in front of me in terms of like, hey, this is what I'm looking at, and there's some big flips. You make good money on them. You know your margins. You know how to buy. You know your market. So with that said, can you give like a background? I know we talked about it in the first video a bit, but like how you got into this game, when you got into it, where we were, where we are, and where you think we're going, or what you feel, what your pulse on the market is.
All right, so I mean, I guess going all the way back from when I started, I was 21. It was 15 years ago, whatever that was. Just getting out of college, buying my first rentals. So I kind of saw that cycle when I was buying stuff in the beginning, and houses started going up in value, and a lot of homeowners didn't notice that their house had gone up in value.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been like a house that I was buying for 70,000 or 60,000, but the person that was selling it to me didn't realize that in the last year and a half it had gone up $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes any sense. So that was like in the beginning, that's the way that it was happening. It was like these houses were going up in value. A lot of people didn't realize it, and then stuff started going down in value, and then some people thought their houses were worth more, but it just had gone down in value 30,000 in the last 2 years, and they didn't know it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
then it was hard to buy properties from like I remember I used to call someone for rent signs, and I would see if they wanted to sell their house they had for rent, and like they didn't know that it went in value 20 grand in the last 10 months. But obviously the market completely tanked in whatever year that was. What was it, 2007 or 8?
Oh, 89, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was like, I guess that was a product of what like all these like they had these like no doc loans, these like state income loans. It was like anybody under the sun could get a loan for any amount of money, and
Lenders like me, right? Crazy guys like me giving everybody money.
yeah, but it took a lot of years. I mean, it like kept like it took a lot of years for like stuff was just going down for. I mean, you know this better than me. It was going down for like a million years for like 5 years. The market was just tanking. I mean, I don't see it like from where it is now. I know you kind of think so, but like I'm like positive that there's nothing going to be even remotely close to how it was last time. I
Oh,
mean,
I
there's
don't.
no
Oh,
way.
no, no. So I do think the world's gonna end, but I don't.
Unless
I
there's
don't.
like a nuclear bomb or like some crazy national disaster. I mean, I don't see like values right now are like still like lower, or they're still like so low compared to what they were in 2007 in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I don't think the next one will be. I mean, pending we don't know what's coming. I don't think it'll be as bad as last time. Last time was different because the problem was also in our industry, right? So like the thing that caused the market to crash doubled down against our industry as opposed to like, Trump gets impeached tomorrow, North Korea lobs up a nuclear missile. That'll cause some heat in the markets, but like that's not in our industry. So it'll affect all the markets, but it's not like last time it was our market affecting everybody else's market and it just crushed the market. So I don't think it'll happen like that. And
And
I don't.
the only thing I could see happening is if interest rates happen to go up a really lot,
Mhm.
then I think things could get pretty ugly. I mean, I'm not one to really predict where rates are at, but if all of a sudden rates somehow got to 7%, I
Or
mean,
like
who
the 80s in the
knows?
1980s, it
Yeah,
was like
and
18.
if that happened, then I think, and I've never seen that happen before. So I've seen like the market crash, but I've never seen it crash because I've seen it like I've seen like 100 real estate guys that I know, and all of a sudden 90 of them are out of the business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I've never seen it crash because of like, and I don't even know if that's possible. If, like I feel like the Federal Reserve Bank's not going to let rates get to 8% because if the market's going to crash, I mean, I don't know if they would let that happen. But if all of a sudden tomorrow rates were at like 8%, yeah, these Fishtown flips that you think are worth 500 grand aren't going to be worth 500 grand so fast.
Now they're worth 350 and we got a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That was the one thing I didn't know. So like I've always like looked at stuff like from the different stuff from like from my lending perspective. And the one thing that's odd in my business is that in the 80s, interest rates at one point were either 15 or
Yeah,
18%.
they were crazy. Yeah,
It's insane, right? So, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, like that means that the interest rates you get from a bank are more costly than the money I put out today. Like, how does it make sense? Like, what do I do? I have to go like, do I put money out at 30%? Like, so I don't really know like what that does to a market either, other than it froze the markets in the 80s. It didn't crash them. It
yeah,
just
but
froze.
those houses that were worth like 200, they were worth like 200,000. That same house now may be worth like 1.5 million.
Exactly, right. So that's exactly what it does. The cost of money is easier for, or, more effective, allows more buyers in the game. So what do you think? So I agree with you. I agree. There's nothing right now showing the market. I don't believe it can't always go up. I know that much. But right now, there's nothing like alarming to me um, to say it's coming down. But where do you think we're going like in the next 5 years? I mean, you have a really good way of looking at the markets yourself. So where do you think we're going?
I think certain transitional neighborhoods are still gonna keep transitioning. Because I lived in one of those neighborhoods in 2006. For 8 years. So I saw what happened when the market crashed and the neighborhood I was in. So I personally still think some of these fringe areas are gonna. Some people think they're the first ones to get hit when the market, you know, starts softening up. But I think that those neighborhoods are gonna stay strong. I think like if you're buying in Brewery Town now, I don't think that area is gonna get that affected. If you buy a rental there now,
Hmm.
I think you're good. Like it's gonna cash flow. It's gonna one day it's gonna be worth more money. It might stop going up in value for a little bit. It might level off, and then one day it'll start going up again. But it's not going to be like the really higher end stuff. I think could be more trouble, like high end condos. I mean, I remember last time like the stuff in Philly, Symphony House, like Waterfront Square, the Murano, all these high end, fancy schmancy condos. Those places got smoked, man. I mean, they were like, you
Yeah.
know, they got smoked. I mean, I was looking into buying one of them. Luckily, I didn't. But like, um, that's the stuff that I saw that got hit the hardest, like the center city high end stuff.
We're very cautious about lending on condos for that reason because when you introduce HOAs into or not like a condo association fee, um, that's another way to change the value of what somebody can pay for a house. And when it's if the money gets mismanaged or people stop paying those fees, and then an FHA bank won't take it on because if you have what it is like 20% delinquency in a certain particular bank, I'm sorry, with a condo association, now you can't. There's no conventional financing for it, so there's a lot of people just think, oh, I'll buy a condo, it looks great, like you said, but a lot of condos they got smashed
Yeah.
by 2008 for sure, for
There's,
sure.
I mean, in the commercial stuff, there's not like I saw so many apartment buildings and so many shopping centers, flop. I
Mhm.
mean, now they're all owned by like strong borrowers and strong owners. I don't see that
That is
uh,
true.
like they're not like I haven't seen, I rarely see like a big building in foreclosure. I mean, I don't see the airport Renaissance in South Philadelphia. That place just those they just lost that place. It was like a $50 million hotel, but I really rarely see big buildings that people are losing and big apartment complexes and shopping centers. I used to see like tons of them. I mean, like
Yeah, in '08, I remember that. Everywhere you go, it was
yeah,
like common. Yeah, it was crazy. Now looking back, you think about holy cow. Like now, it's like yeah, you're right. It's like on